So a couple weeks ago, I posted a video announcing. I know, you always have to be right there if I'm filming, right? You can't just be in the background, otherwise you get very upset that you're not part of this. Yeah, it's true. So, a few weeks ago I posted a video, basically, Gizmo is just so interested in what I have to say. A few weeks ago I posted a video announcing that we are getting another bird, and I showed you guys this huge bird cage that we have for this bird. And I asked you guys to guess what bird you thought we got, and I think one or maybe two of you actually did guess it correctly. A lot of you guys said macaw, which is correct. I was hoping for more specific answers, but someone did get it correct. I know at least one person did. This is not the macaw I'm talking about, by the way. This is Gizmo, my severe macaw, for anyone who's new here. I've had him my entire life, and he's 30. Right. He's like 33. Yeah. So anyways, that was the bird that I'm going to be introducing you guys to today. So, do you have anything else you wanted to say, Gizmo? Come on, Cleo. Let's go. Come on, Cleo. Let's go. Come here. Okay, I swear she normally flies to me like we have worked on this, and she does it, but she must be camera shy or something, so once she warms up to you guys, I'll show you. All right, good bird. Gonna go in there. Well, now you can't see her. Well, that's better. Go on, all the way. Yeah! Good bird. All right, guys, so this is Cleo. Cleo is a Green Winged Macaw. Green Winged Macaws are the second largest parrot right behind hyacinths. My entire life growing up and everything, I always saw Gizmo, our severe macaw that you just saw, as a really big bird, and I was always very afraid of him, because I mean, he still has such a strong beak. After having her for about a month now, I feel like I can take Gizmo, you know? That beak right there is scary, and she knows it. Cool. I didn't ask you to do that, but that's still really cool, and I love that for you. So yeah, we've had Cleo now for right about a month. Yeah. You're so cute. You let me pet you? Oh, you're a good bird. You're a good girl, aren't you? Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys kind of her story, and she's just so adorable, I can't get over this. So I just wanted to formally introduce you guys to Cleo and kind of tell you guys about where she came from and how she's been acclimating to our home in the last month. So we adopted Cleo through Project Parrots, which is a parrot rescue organization that is run by our friends Jamie and Dave over at Bird Tricks. They're the ones who kind of helped us find Cleo and put us into contact with her owners who were looking for a place to rehome their 13-year-old Green Winged Macaw. Basically, Cleo's from a pet store out of state. The people who run this pet store sell parrots, and they get parrots in for their store, and Cleo happened to be a parrot that they got in, and they ended up deciding to keep her kind of as a pet. And Cleo basically lived in this pet store and got kind of free range of the store. Also, as a result, ended up being a very socialized bird, because all kinds of people who would come into the store would kind of interact with her, and she was just very used to meeting all kinds of different people. It's not always easy to come by a parrot, especially in a sort of rehoming situation where the parrot is really well socialized and really easy to get along with and basically warms up to anyone they meet. Even in the time where we've had her, she just does not really care about people coming into the house, getting close to her. She's not gonna let like some random person that she's never met before touch her probably, but otherwise she isn't really freaked out or intimidated by strangers, which is really cool. So when we first brought Cleo into our home, the very first thing that we had to do is kind of try to warm up to her because she didn't trust us yet. She didn't know who we were, and this was also a much different scenario than she's ever experienced before meeting another person, because she's now in this place that she's never been before, and her whole life for 13 years has been pretty consistent. And now it's just completely different. She's surrounded by people she doesn't know in an environment that she is not at all familiar with. And given all of that, she has just been incredible. So probably the first challenge we ran into is trying to figure out her food situation, because her previous owners primarily fed her human food, just all kinds of stuff. I know they said her favorite thing was Chick-fil-A mac and cheese. And we really just wanted to get her onto a diet that was a little bit more appropriate for a parrot. So we wanted to get her eating ideally a good quality pellet, and then also getting her to eat like chopped fresh veggies and things like that. So I think one of the first things that we did was we tried to give her Rowdy Bush. So she didn't take it, which wasn't surprising. We tried giving her some like veggies and fruits and stuff. Again, she wouldn't really eat that kind of stuff, and we weren't sure if it was just stress. She would take treats, of course, one of her favorites being cashews, but that's about it. So one of the first things we did was we went to the pet store and we got a bag of Supreme. I can show you because we still have it. So we got this food, Supreme Fruit Blend. So this isn't what I would consider a super ideal staple pellet for a parrot, just because, you know, it's gonna be really high in sugars, and it's just not a super like nutrient dense, good quality pellet, in my opinion. Our goal, of course, was to find her something that she would eat. And although this isn't the best pellet in the world, I also don't really think it's the worst. And I figured it just might be more palatable than what we were giving her. Kind of a halfway point between Rowdy Bush and Chick-fil-A mac and cheese. Gave her those, and she actually took to them very quickly. She started eating them, which was wonderful because we don't have to worry about what bird food we can get her on because she's eating something. So at first we were feeding her those for like a couple days, and then moved on to the Supreme Naturals just because this is a little bit better than the fruit blend. It's still not Rowdy Bush, but it's another step closer to like what we want her to be on. And again, immediately she took it, and we were like, okay, cool. So I don't know, maybe we could have just started with this one, not really sure. But she took to this one, which was great. We started mixing the Rowdy Bush in, and she started eating the Rowdy Bush. So that's really cool. Now this is the fun part. We ended up taking her to the vet just to get a general checkup done, disease testing, blood work, and we also ended up doing a DNA sexing. And then she also really badly needed to be groomed. So before we even brought her into our home, we had asked her family to get a disease panel done for her, just because we wanted to be extra sure that she didn't have any diseases that could potentially transfer to our other birds, since, you know, she'd be coming into our home, and then if she has something, that would be bad. So they said they got the disease panel done, and they said it was all clear and she was good to go, but they never sent us the results for the disease panel. Not that I don't necessarily believe that they didn't get it done, but you know, I just wanted to see the results with my own eyes, basically, and see that she was all clear, just so I could have a completely clear peace of mind. And since I didn't get any confirmation from them, I just decided to get another disease panel done at the vet. Well, I'm about to tell you, Gypsy. That's the thing. I'm getting there. Yeah, we decided to end up getting the disease panel done. Spoiler alert, that was fine actually. Like, she didn't have any diseases, which again, I wasn't really expecting her to, but I just wanted to make sure, and she didn't. So yay! Really badly needed to be groomed. Her beak was grown out very long. In general, the condition of her beak wasn't very good. Like, it was very flaky looking. And I have before and after pictures where I can show you what the beak looked like before we got her, and then what it looks like now.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
They had told us that they had never gotten her beak and nails done. They basically just said that when the beak gets too long, the tip will break off on its own, so they don't get the beak done. And very cool. Wow. So we decided to just have the vet do the beak and the nails and get all that stuff done while she was there anyway. We take her to the vet, she gets the blood work done, a fecal. She ended up being very deficient in a lot of different vitamins and nutrients, and she also didn't have very much good bacteria in her gut. They actually said she had like pretty much no good bacteria. And this was likely a result from her diet of eating mostly kind of human junk food, as much as I'm sure she really enjoyed it and misses mac and cheese. It wasn't very nutritionally dense for her and wasn't providing her the nutrients that she needed. So she was just basically very vitamin deficient and she wasn't getting what she needed from her diet basically. That also explained why her beak was really flaky and just not very healthy looking. A big part of it was due to her not having proper nutrients. They ended up sending us home basically with just some vitamins and things to mix in her food and water, just to get her to where she needed to be more quickly as far as all of her nutrients and vitamin needs. And I also kind of glazed over the traumatic part of the vet visit, which is the fact that I don't think Cleo has ever really been to a vet before, because we had asked the previous owners for vet records as well. And they said they didn't have any vet records because they had a vet that came into their store and they just kind of casually looked at Cleo and gave Cleo a clean bill of health, but it wasn't anything that was on record. So she had never been formally taken to a vet before. So this is Cleo's first time in 13 years that she has been to a vet. She's been groomed. She was very stressed out this entire time. At one point when one of the techs were trying to get her, she kind of got loose and was flying around the room like a maniac, causing a scene in this vet office. Isn't that right, Cleo? You did that, you really did. Once we got home, we realized that Cleo wasn't eating anymore and was holding her beak kind of funny. So we were like, oh great, something's wrong, like she probably hurt herself. So we ended up taking her back to the vet to get her checked out again. They basically said you probably banged her beak and there's probably some inflammation in there that's causing some pain, but it's not broken, it's not dislocated or anything like that. So we got some pain meds to give her. That vet visit where we took her back and we got pain medicine was probably about 2 weeks ago now. She's back to using her beak, pretty much back to normal. Overall, other than her freaking out at the vet and that happening, so overall, the results that we got from that were not terrible. Like, it's not great that she was so vitamin deficient, but that's something that we can fix and we can get her on track to just being much healthier. And we have another vet visit, I think next week, where we're taking her and Gypsy into the vet and getting them both rechecked out. So we're gonna see kind of where she's at and how she's doing and all that stuff. I also forgot to mention we got her DNA sex. It did come back that she was female. Other than that, this entire process of having her and getting her acclimated into our home has gone so incredibly smoothly. Like, I almost couldn't have asked for it to go better just because she is such an incredible bird. So friendly, has just warmed up to us so well. And yeah, Cleo's just a really cool bird, so do it all the way.